Hello, my name is Anne and welcome to a Tobyknits Quilty Fun episode 8. Now, if you're new to my channel, welcome. Stick around, grab a cup of tea and get comfy because this can be a long one. The quilting one always ends up being long. I don't know why, because Mondays I talk about knitting and crochet. Wednesdays I talk about cross stitch and Fridays is quilting. And quilting is fairly new for me since COVID started 2 years ago. And I'm obsessed with it. I typically only sew during the day because the light is better. But I'm still obsessed with it. So I have a lot to tell you. But the first big news, I'm so excited for this. I ordered a new machine. Yes, I did today. I ordered a new machine. So what happened was I have had a very old Singer sewing machine for like 40 years. It's just a straight stitch and zigzag and that's it. And it has no gadgets on it. You have to manually put the needle down and it's just really old and it worked great. I sewed so many things on it over the years, but I had noticed a couple of years ago it was starting to, the tension wasn't right on the stitches and stuff was going a bit wrong and I wasn't enjoying it. And my daughter-in-law at the time was moving to Nova Scotia, said to me, here, take my machine then and use mine. Because at the time I had started making bags to sell on Etsy. And so I took her brother's sewing machine and I have been using that, which has been great for piecing on my quilts and stuff. But anyway, I was telling her all about it when I was back and she was like, oh, I think I should get sewing again. And I'm like, well, you know what? I need a new sewing machine, so you can have yours back and I'll buy a new one because, you know, we need to do that, right? We need to buy new stuff. Yes. So I bought a new one. And I got another Singer because I really did love my Singer sewing machine that I'd had for years. And even back when I lived in England, me and my mom had a Singer sewing machine. So it was like, we just really needed to get Singer again. And so I got a really nice one with a pile of different feet on it. And it's electronic, computerized, and it's got this, the thing that I wanted the most out of a sewing machine, and it's the silly little things, was the needle threader, because I can barely see to thread the needle. So I needed a needle threader. I needed the thing that cuts your thread after you finished. I really needed one of them. And a bigger throat space. So this one that I'm getting does have a bigger throat space than the brother I've been using, and about the same as my old Singer. So probably a standard size, 6.5 inches or something. But anyway, I'm very excited that it'll be coming this week. And one of the things I just did, but you know what I should do? I never showed you my finished object. Who wants to see it? Okay, come on, hands up, who wants to see it? Okay, there's enough of you. Okay, I'll show you, wait. Look what's finished. I am so thrilled that I finished Bob's quilt in time for his birthday Wednesday. The binding is on, the backing is all done, and I even put a label. Oh, it's upside down. So there it is. I quilted it with wavy lines with my walking foot and a blue thread, and let me just say it was a nightmare, because as I was trying to tell you before, I was having a little issue with the Singer because Bob put it down, lowered it down into the table for me, so I have a bigger space and I can, you know, thread the machine, the quilt through, and I have places to hold it so it's not bunched. That worked well, but the walking foot worked well, but at the time I was having issues with the Singer and the tension and the stitches, and they were bunching up. I don't know if you can, and I'm not changing it now, but you can see, like in some instances, the thread looks like it was coming through. Let me see if I can find another one where it did it. I'm sure eventually they'll come out. Of course, now I can't find one when I want to show you. Yeah. Well, okay, so it was just me then. Now there, see, it went a bit funny, but I'm not pulling them all out now, and if they come out, they come out. But it's really heavy, the quilt. Gosh, he's gonna love it though. Put it on him, he'll be really thrilled. So here's some pictures I took of it outside and one on the bed, just so you can see. It's not a full, like, it's not queen size, but it's definitely big enough that he can cover up on the couch on it and stuff. So I really, really do love how it turned out, very much. And it was a lot of fun doing it myself. So the next quilt, I have 2 other quilts that have finished. One I've now decided I'm going to ruler quilt. I'll tell you all about that in a minute. And the other one I'm going to send out to a long armor. So I will have learned how to use the walking foot, how to rule a foot, how to crosshatch quilts and stuff, and how to send them out to a long armor. So I'll decide which one I like the best, and you know, because I do love piecing them, but the quilting is definitely not as easy as you think, especially when you only have a domestic sewing machine. Probably be different if you had a long arm. And I did take a long arm class, but I've totally forgotten everything about it now, so that's the end of that. The other thing that I did was, as I was telling you before, I took a class on the weekend for ruler foot. Now, this was immensely, I'm trying to think of the word, a satisfying class, very much entertaining, and I learned an awful lot. And it was I really did enjoy the class. Now, it was on Zoom, which I thought was a bit going to be weird, but it actually wasn't as weird as I thought it was going to be, because I really felt good to hear other people saying what problems they were having, so that you felt, oh, I didn't have to ask that question. And, you know, that's good, because that was what I was thinking. And the lady who did the class, whose name I've totally forgotten right now, I did write it down somewhere, but she owns Silly Moon Quilting Co. in BC, I think she is. So it was, we had to do it on BC time, which was 5 o'clock my time. So it was 5 till 8. So I had to eat supper early, but that's fine. But it was a lot of fun. So she gave us a table topper to make. So we got a patent to make this table topper so that we could use the squares. And then we had to have, as part of her class, these are the rulers. There was this one, the Edgy 6, and then there was Charming. Now, these are rulers that they make themselves. So they are Canadian, ladies and gentlemen, Canadian made. and they have two sizes. Mine, because I have a low shank machine, I ended up going with the 1/8 of an inch because I like them better. But you can also get 1/4 inch. And she will tell you, she has a video, they have a YouTube channel, and they will tell, I'll leave the link below, they will tell you how to work out whether you have a low shank or a high shank or what size ruler you need, which again is fabulous. But it was so interesting. I learned so much because there are all these lines on here, which are engraved in, by the way. And they send you the tape to put on too, so that when you have your ruler on your quilt sandwich, it's not sliding. So it'll stay still as you're moving the ruler and the quilt through. Obviously, you need a ruler foot. My ruler foot is a Westerly that I got, a low shank. I got this at Taylor's in Brockville. And you just attach that to your machine. But it was a really interesting class. So here is mine. And of course, it doesn't look like there's anything on there, but there is. Now, funny story. As I said, I started it on my Singer. And I couldn't get the tension right. Some worked out great, some worked out rubbish, but I went through the class still anyway, with the full intention that when the class was over, I was going to take all the stitches out. And I did. I ripped all the stitches out. They were very easy to get out because there was no tension. So then what I did was I then used the Brother machine and tried it on that. And I could slow my stitches down, because that was the other thing I found, that I tend to sew quite fast. And when you're free motion or ruler quilting or even walking foot, you're not meant to go fast. You're meant to go quite slow. And I have a hard time with that. But the Brother has an adjustment on it, and my new Singer will have that too. There isn't one on this one. That you can slow it right down. So even though you got your foot hard down on the pedal, you're still not going that fast. So I pulled everything out and started again. So here is one where we just learned how to do straight lines with our edgy in putting it along and then just following along. So we did that. The first thing we did was stitched in the ditch. So you can just see a little bit there. And it was interesting because she said some people do stitch right in the ditch. So in this instance, I got it right in the ditch. But she said the trouble with that, if you do that, is sometimes you miss and then it shows. So I actually like it when it shows. So next time I do any stitch in the ditch, I'm not going to stitch right in the ditch. I'm going to stitch beside it. Then we did this flower. So this is a petal of a flower. And it'll go in each of the blocks like this. So this is my homework to finish it. And then that will make a big flower using the 4 blocks. The other interesting thing about her edgy and her charming, more so the charming, it's to go in 5-inch squares. So, which is what these are. So it's a perfect fit. And then she taught us how to do this flower. And again, I was off on some of these because you get so wrapped up in where you're going, you forget to pay attention to the ruler foot on the ruler. And so my ruler, it was going right off the ruler. I was like, no, get back to the rulers. So that was interesting. And then this part was just, and again, using a ruler foot, you can actually also use it for free motion. So we literally just did a bunch of circles, any old how, didn't matter, and then went back to finishing off your flower petals. So there were the flower petals. Then we did this really cool design, which you can hardly see there. So I'll show you what it looks like on the back. So there it is on the back. So again, we used the edgy and we came along and then we went up a bit and then came back. So here's how all the back looks. And, oh, and then the last one, which is my favorite, was this one. How cool is that one? So we started Where did I start? On a corner somewhere, I'm pretty sure. I don't know. We started somewhere and then you go, oh, I think it was here. No, I forget. You start somewhere and you come along and you had to mark, you had to find a spot on your ruler. So in my case, I think it was the second row up here, the second little, and then you can put a mark on it if you want, but I just remembered where it was. And then you sew to there, and then you turn the fabric and you sew, and you kept turning it and going around until you were coming in and in and in and in to there. So it was a lot of fun. I really did enjoy it, and I definitely want to ruler foot my quilt with the leaves, I've decided, and I'm going to do a stitch in the ditch around each leaf. I think that will look cool. So that's this one. So it came out really good. Now I'm not going to finish it because I did leave a couple of squares not stitched. So I'm going to keep using this as my practice before I actually go and actually do the ruler foot on the other quilt. So that is a lot of fun. What else did I want to show you today? Oh, Olympia. I did manage to get some of my Olympia done this week. I'm 3 clues behind. So here is how this clue. So with the Olympia, it's a Cotton Cuts mystery, and each month you get a bundle in the mail. Basically looks like this. And all the pieces inside are cut for you. They're pre-cut to the size that they're going to be. And then you sew them all together. So this clue was these. So again, it would be all the triangles that you sew together. So I had to make 2 of those. Isn't that lovely fabric? So I had to make 2 of those, and then we had to make 2 of these. I think this fabric is, I love this green. So there's 2 of these. And at the moment, I have no idea in the quilt where they're going to go. And that's the beauty of this puzzle, because it's like a jigsaw puzzle. You just get pieces each month and you sew the pieces together, and then at the very end they're going to send us instructions on how to put all the pieces together. Still not sure what I'm talking about? Let me show you. Okay, I thought this would be easier to show you this way. So when you get your puzzle in the mail, you get your instruction page. You get all your pieces already cut for you and snipped corners. What you need to always do is hang on to your, this comes in your very first piece, which tells you all about the clues and the puzzles, but it gives you your reference guide, because they just will tell you you need fabric A, so you have to look here to see this is fabric A, so therefore this is fabric A. And you need fabric F, which will be this one, and you need fabric G, which is this one. So that's how it tells you what you're going to need. So you always need to keep this and keep it handy. So then our first clue is going to tell us that we're going to make all this 4 big strips of triangles. And it will tell us in our packet how many we have of each of these colored triangles. So it's telling us that the first part of the clue is we need to take an A, a G, which is this one, and lay it down right here, and an F, which is this one, and it's going to end up like that. So the first thing you're going to do is you're going to put these right sides together and match up those square corners and then stitch along 1/4 of an inch. And I use a 1/4 inch foot. So this was what I got with my, so you can see it's, so you don't have to do any snipping afterwards, because if you had just put a square of fabric on top and then sewn from corner to corner, you would then have had to cut off your extra fabric and lose it. In this case, you don't, because there is no extra fabric. There's what you have. So then this one then comes along, lines up there at the top and lines up there at the bottom, and you sew along there, and you end up with it looking like that. So again, there's the sewn end, and it's just pressed open, and that is what they call a flying geese unit. So then what we had to do was we had to make 16 of those. The next step after we've made 16 of these is to sew them together 4 at a time. So I did that, and there is my piece, and I have to do 4 of those, so that will take up all the rest of these. I obviously did not finish them. I just wanted to show you this part, and then that's the clue finished. So I hope that made more sense. I love the fact that they're all pre-cut for you. I do enjoy cutting the fabric, but I do tend to find that when I'm doing a new project, I have to cut everything out one day and then leave it because I'm too tired to start, which makes it hard when you're so anxious to get going. You know, you have to wait. So in this instance, it's lovely that this is all pre-cut for you so that you're literally just sitting down to cut. I am dying to find out what this is going to be when it's all ready to be put together. I'm kind of wondering if if we're going to come along and put the 2 rows together. I don't know. It's just going to be so interesting. Or is this the border maybe down the side? I don't know. It's going to be interesting. Anyway, this was clue 6, and I do have clue 7 to finish. So let's hope by next Friday I will have finished both of those clues, and we'll find out soon enough what it will look like, because there's 10 altogether. I'm not sure if the 10th one is the one we get the finishing instructions, or the 10th one is just the finishing instructions. I'm not sure. But anyway, that'll be fun. If you want some more information about the Cotton Cuts Puzzle Mysteries, there is a new one just started, I believe. I will leave a link below to the Cotton Cuts website. You can find out more about it yourself. I am not affiliated with them. I just thought it would be fun to try and see and show you guys. Anyway, I'm going. I need a cup of tea, and so does Toby. What? Toby drinks tea? What? What? No, Toby doesn't drink tea. But he will help me with my biscuits. Okay, I'll talk to you all next Friday if you're just interested in Quilty Fun, or Monday for some knitting fun.